Imagine being in a job where seeking mental health care could end your career. Just the stigma alone could be enough to get you ousted.
That's what many commercial pilots have faced over the years due to archaic rules. But now, in what's being called a massive step forward, the House of Representatives passed a bill that could change that.
Chief Transportation Correspondent and pilot Mackay Beeler joining us to explain. Mackay, what's going on?
This is a big deal, and it's good news for pilots. So should a pilot's mental health be valued just like their physical health? Well, lawmakers say yes, passing the Mental Health and Aviation Act of 2025. So it removes barriers surrounding mental health treatment. The bipartisan bill unanimously passed will revise outdated regulations, giving pilots and air traffic controllers more options to seek care, get help, lessen the stigma around mental health treatment, and keep their jobs. So historically, should a pilot report certain mental health issues, it could be a grounding that could result in removal from the flight deck or air traffic control tower. Quote, get help and put your career and paycheck on hold, or keep your career on track and just hope you'll get better, end quote. Well, that's what House Democrat Sean Casten, who co-sponsored the bill, says many pilots have had to deal with, but the new bill, passed on September 8th, directs the FAA to modernize its medical certification process to better support those who seek treatment. It requires the agency to revise regulations over the next 2 years to encourage voluntary disclosure of mental health conditions and treatments. Pilot unions support the bill. Aircraft Owners and Pilots Association President Darren Pleasant says, quote, this bill takes meaningful steps to ensure pilots can prioritize their health and keep flying, end quote. All right, the bill now heads to the Senate.
All right, so we'll keep track of it and what happens there. But if a pilot does seek mental health, mental health help, does that have to be reported to the FAA?
It does, because we have to take medicals every 6 months or 12 months if you're an airline pilot. And when you go see your aviation medical examiner or special doctor, you have to report any medication you're on, any appointments you had with a doctor, any conditions, including mental health and including depression. It must be reported, and you even sign on there, I attest this is the truth, otherwise you're breaking the law.
Have there been any high-profile cases where this has been an issue?
You know, remember just the other day we talked about the Alaska Airlines jump seat pilot who was high on psychedelic mushrooms. Now, this is an extreme case. But he apparently was going through depression, he was going through grief, and he was taking these psychedelic drugs to help himself cope. He had some mental problems with that, and because he was so strung out, he was off duty, and he was sitting in the jumpsuit of the jump seat, but he was, I guess you could say, spaced out, and he admitted that he thought he was in a dream, and to wake up, he pulled the fire handles and tried to cut off the engines. So this is an extreme case. Another extreme case, this was in 2015, German Wings. There was a first officer who committed suicide, killed everybody on board the flight, and he had been taking mental health drugs with suicidal side effects. His doctor had said, you are unfit to fly, but he didn't tell the airline. Nobody knew about that. So he succumbed to the suicidal tendencies of the drugs and killed everybody. So that's an extreme case. So just situations where you have depression or you're sad about something, as we all go through, you should be able to say that and tell your FAA doctor that without thinking you might be grounded or lose your job. That's what this bill is about. People are afraid to get help.
Yeah.
I'm sad because my husband died. I need to talk to somebody about it. It would be okay to do that.
Okay, we got our Chief Transportation Correspondent, Mackay Beeler. Mackay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Queen City News Plus. Just search Queen City News on your smart TV's app store.